I've been on a mission to find the perfect diet for humans. What do I mean by perfect? One that keeps us energized, allows us to perform and recover at our best, and ultimately keeps us healthy for as long as possible. I wanted to know that what I put in my body each day was doing more good than harm, and reducing the risk of disease and injury. But before we get into what I've learned, let me tell you what I knew, or thought I knew. Picking up things from family and friends, school, and the stuff we see online had left me with the knowledge that sugar was pretty bad for us, and fast food wasn't too good either. Regarding macronutrients, I thought protein was the holy grail, carbs were a grey area, and fats were either to be lived off or avoided like the plague.
Yo, what about the micronutrients?
So I recently flew out to Portugal, and one of the first things I learned was that animal products weren't intended for us. My friend made the compelling points that we wouldn't take a bite out of a cow in nature, nor would we start sucking from its udders, and we definitely wouldn't steal unborn chicks to boil for breakfast. This same thinking could be applied to vegetables. We wouldn't eat them because they don't taste good without lots of cooking and seasoning. And then there's all the hype about anti-nutrients, suggesting they wouldn't have even been good for us raw. I realised that they were carnivores like lions and tigers, with claws and teeth designed to hunt, and short acidic digestive tracts, made not just for meat, but for bones, skin and fur. Then there were herbivores like cows and sheep, with flat teeth for grinding plant life, and complex digestive systems made to extract the nutrients from the plants. Then, a group I hadn't heard of, the fruitarians. That's right, with our medium-length digestive tracts, made for sugar and fibre, and an inbuilt sweet tooth. With our trichromatic vision designed to spot ripe produce, and all the hydration, energy, and nutrients being packed into one source, it was hard to deny that we were designed to live off fruit. Or at least used to be. See, the problem was, I knew we could survive, and seemingly thrive, on many different diets. There was the Inuit in the Arctic, the tribe that hunted seals and fish, or the Hadza in Tanzania, living predominantly off hunted birds, tubers, and berries. And you only had to look on YouTube to see people living entirely off meat, or even milk. Evidently we weren't boxed in like I wanted to believe, which made the question of a perfect diet much harder to answer. I concluded instead that we were omnivores, capable and adapted to live off many different foods and diets.
Hey, so I can swap out the fruit for a meal deal.
No, not quite. See, we're designed to eat many different foods, the ones that occur in nature, not the processed stuff we eat today. This led me to the whole foods diet. Whole foods are as close to their natural, unprocessed form as possible. They retain the nutrients, phytochemicals, and fibre that's often removed in processing, and don't have the added sugar, sodium, and various chemical preservatives. The classic examples of unprocessed whole foods are fresh fruit and veg. But minimal processing isn't inherently bad, and frozen, dried, canned, and cooked stuff is still often good for us. I believe the key is to center your diet around the real food and cut back as best as possible the ultra-processed stuff that increases your risk of just about every disease under the sun. However, given these foods are literally everywhere, it can be pretty challenging. I find focusing on eating more real food will inevitably leave less room for the junk, and you'll feel satiated for longer. Cooking at home is also a massive help, as when you buy out, you can almost guarantee it's ultra-processed. And finally, shop smart. Look for fewer ingredients, and avoid things you can't pronounce. Even better if it doesn't have a label. I'll admit, a big question still remains, one that deserves its own video altogether. Plant-based or animal-based? That said, I currently believe that if you are eating majority whole foods, you're already 90% of the way there. And with that, stay strong, stay healthy, and until next time.